Hi everybody, welcome back to that Eurovision site. As you can see, we're in a very different setting. And we're actually in person, like this time. It's a bit weird. But we're here because we need to round off the national final recaps. And there is one we haven't done yet. And that's Iceland and Söngvakeppnin. So me and Angus are just here to just talk about and see what we thought of that, even though it's been like nearly 2 months now.
And where better to talk about Iceland than in beautiful Amsterdam? So,
So let's get on with it.
so in the Söngvakeppnin, there were 10 songs competing in total. 5 made it to the final. The 4 that made it straight through were Dancing Lonely by Ösk, Sometimes the World's Against You by Bragi, Power by Delia, and OK by Langiseli og Skuggarnir, with Doomsday Dancing by Celebs making it through on the jury wildcard. In the end, Delia won, of course. With Langiseli og Skuggarnir finishing second in the super final.
So, what are your thoughts on Söngvakeppnin this year?
I had a good time with it. It took some time for me to really connect with the songs. When I first listened to the studio cuts, I was like, I'm not sure. I was maybe having a bit of a national final burnout. It was a very, very busy time for everyone, and just another 10 songs was a bit much. But especially then seeing the live performances, I really got into it, especially into Delia's Power and into Doomsday Dancing by Celebs. Those were definitely my 2 favorites of the selection. But yeah, I ended up having just a really good time watching Söngvakeppnin. And you?
For me, Iceland's always that country where they really take it serious. Like, I can make a case for each of the songs, but Icelandic people put the right 4 through to the final in the jury. I have other thoughts about that, but that's for another video. But for me, Delia has that capability. I think Delia was the one that stood out so much that it was obvious from the outset that Power was going to be the one that's going to represent Iceland and Liverpool, and I'm very, very happy about that result. But what do you think? Do you agree with the result?
I mean, Doomsday Dancing was my favorite. I do also get why it didn't win in the end. And to be fair, if it was a Delia versus Celebs super final, I would have still seen it go towards Delia probably. But I'm quite happy with how it went. I do think Delia is a good choice. If she gets to the final, she'll definitely do very well. I think that might be where the difficulty is. I think it's a song with a bit more jury appeal than televote appeal on average, which maybe for some of the other songs in the selection would have been the other way around, so better qualification chances. But I still think Delia should, finish about 7th or 8th in the semi-final, and then a good mid-table result in the Eurovision final itself. So that should make everyone pretty happy, I think.
Yeah, no. It won by public vote, didn't it? So
yeah, it's a combination.
So for me, it's if your country's behind your entry, you shouldn't it boosts its chances a bit more, because it feels like you've got the support right behind you.
Yeah.
Other than Celebs Go Dancing, who else did you think of I don't think that result was deserved?
That is a good question. I mean, the thing is, I had a lot of either love or at least appreciation for all the songs. So even if I didn't like them as songs, I could still be like, okay, this is a good song or a good performance. I would say, along with many others that I spoke to, that Silja Ross and Kjala, who went out in the second semi-final, they deserve to go to the final. Of course, then you get into the discussion of who shouldn't have and etc., which is always a difficult one. But I would have been happy to see them in the final. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I was just, no real complaints. It's always hard when it's just 10 good songs.
Yeah, no, that's what I like about Iceland. It's like, why don't we just have a 10-song final? Because that's just not Iceland. Like, you have to go through like cutting it down to 5, and I'm like, okay, completely up to you then. But you know, it works for them. It works for them.
And to be fair, in this year, I appreciate a short national final because, in general, we always have some very long national finals, and this year, a few in particular.
He's looking at you, Romania.
People who have heard me talk on the podcast recently before know my thoughts about Croatia and about San Marino and also some of the other national finals I mentioned, and how very long national finals can be good and bad. And I think Iceland really makes this shorter one work for them very well.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on. My question to you is there anything RUV can improve from this year, you think?
I mean, like I said, I do appreciate that it was short. Also, the shows themselves were they were both short and concise, so it was just a good short watch. You weren't getting tired, while at the same time giving all the artists some space to breathe and do their own thing and get to know them, which is exactly what you want. You want those fun green roomy chats, and you want just the performances and then have it be done with. I think the thing that Söngvakeppnin can improve is, in general, there's just a little bit in the production value that can just be upped without it costing a lot of money. It's just, for example, this year there was a small issue for one of the recaps, and that makes the show feel a lot less good than it actually is. And it's just this tiny problem that can hopefully be easily resolved, and that would just be great to see and hear.
Yeah.
And just stuff. So a bit in the audio quality and live performance, especially in the semi-finals. I do think they were already improving during the show.
Yeah.
But in the semi-finals, it could just been a little bit better to really make the show even better than it already is, because all these artists deserve the world.
Like, we're talking about audio quality. We're outside at the minute. It's very windy, so we don't know if this is gonna come through quite well. So hopefully you heard what Angus said. And I think for me, it's like it's working well for them. Like, trying to think like 2019, 2021. No, actually, I wouldn't count 2021 because Daddy was in turn. Like 2022. You know, you've had a good streak of like qualifications.
To be fair, you can count 2021 because in 2020 he did win Söngvakeppnin. So
Yeah. So, you know, why fix what's not broken? But you know what? I agree. I can see why they drag it out, but it works well for them. How about next year? Because like, have you got any interest as to like who you want to see participated? If they use Söngvakeppnin in 2024, obviously.
I'm keeping my options open. Iceland has a very cool music scene with a lot of also like less known artists that then only perform at some small festivals, some small venues there. So I barely know them. But one of the members of Reykjavik Theater, so the Daughters of Reykjavik, who competed last year, one of them also has a solo project now called Neomi, which is really cool and experimental. That would be cool to see. Someone else who would never do it, but I would love to see in Eurovision for Iceland is Asgeir. So if he doesn't even need to perform for me, if he just writes a song with someone, that would be great. I mean, he has worked with Sister recently as well on one of their songs. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities that we see something like that happening. Alternatively, someone with the sound of someone like of Monster Cement, so a bit more of an indie rock vibe. Yeah, it would just be cool to see.
I've only got one, but that's just because I'm really basic. I actually do want Greta to come back.
That is very fair. I do get that.
Like, she was done dirty in 2016. Like, you know how you say like, no, don't ask them to come back. But I'm like, they were done dirty. They need their vengeance.
She was done dirty both times, to be honest. Like, her previous Eurovision entry was one of the best things Iceland has ever sent in, and that struggled in the final.
And I'm like, seriously, of all the things to struggle in the final, it had to be that.
So, Tim, how do you think Delia will do at Eurovision?
Whew. She's what, semi-final two?
Yes.
Um, See, this is the problem with having a bunch of countries who rarely qualify in that semi, put them all together. And the fact that it's televote only is scaring me just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But I have faith that a crystal voice EDM pop banger that's very current with the music scene worldwide would make it through to the final if Delia does the same vocal power that she did in Söngvakeppnin.
And especially her stage presence is just
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, I remember when she was in Warsaw, she was just like lying on the floor.
Yeah,
Like,
but she knows what she's doing. She's already thought it through.
Yeah.
She killed it on that stage, and well, I do think that what we saw at Söngvakeppnin could still be improved upon on the package
Yeah.
we had there. I think those flowers in the background didn't add that much.
yeah,
So we can work a bit on the background imagery, and in general, just again up to production, just really practice it all perfectly. Still give her that room to improvise that she clearly
Yeah.
used in the final, but just with the smoke effects, just do more, really make it pop, and it's going to be visually striking. And as you say, it is. In many ways, it is very current. Like that can go both ways because some people will love that because it's the stuff they listen to or hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Other people might say it's a bit derivative, but she does give it really her own spin. And it just really, she makes it her own thing, and that she really brings out her personality in the song. And that's also what people vote for in Eurovision a lot as well. It's
yeah.
personality is important, that authenticity, and she does bring that through.
All right then. So, that's our thoughts on Söngvakeppnin. What do you think? How do you think Delia will do in Liverpool? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give this video a like. Don't forget
Comment,
to
subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow the website on that Euro site over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok is only him basically, but you know, he's the face of
Yeah.
the website anyway. And that Euro podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm actually with this dude. There is interviews coming because it's Eurovision concert shortly.
Exactly.
So, keep an eye on that. So that's why you need to subscribe so you'll be one of the first people to see it. Right then. But anyways, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.